For the bare necessities, the simple bare necessities.
Hello and welcome to episode 91. A belated 91. Oh, was there an impetus for that?
Yeah, we've got a small, non-specific deal with Solo, a Star Wars movie.
The worst of all the Star Wars films to
I
date.
heard it was all right. I heard it was, unnecessary but average. Like, not inoffensive.
Oh.
But, if they want us to do a Wookiee noise, we're going to take that £5 from
We'll
Kathleen
take it
Kennedy.
straight away.
Straight up. Carry on.
Yes, to episode 91 of That's a Shame with
You have
me.
to say punch it to the listeners as well.
With me, Declan, telling you for
Seamlessly.
£5 to punch it, listeners.
There it was, nice.
And my somewhat sleep deprived, maybe,
Oh, no,
or
the
sleep
opposite. Glutton.
sleep saturated
That's
friend
the one.
Isaac.
I was having a hell of a dream. You know how it is when you're in that dream. And also I have no work to do today. It's my first day of literally no work at all. Not even having to talk to that mad bookman once.
Oh, that's good.
Because I've already sent him off on his way.
Is he dead?
No, he's very much alive. Well, not very much. Clinging on to the last vestiges of life. Like one of those teeth you're going to pull out with a door slam.
Yeah.
No, but he's working on a proofread of a text
why-
for which the very concept is insurmountable.
Why is he proofreading? Wasn't that your job?
No, my job. I offered that initially before
Right.
I'd read the text, and thank God he turned me down because no amount of money would allow me the energy to sift through a book that I'm not going to name in
manuscript.
case it comes out. Yeah, a manuscript. But what he sent me...
Name it at once.
No, I'm
for
not
everyone.
going to. It's mean. What he sent me was a finished text, but a very much unfinished document because there were...
Finished, I cannot express enough, listeners, is playing so fast and loose with the term.
But there were just... I might have talked about this on the show before. The document he sent me to format to be published, self-published, obviously it goes without saying, was just riddled with errors, not only spelling errors, but random punctuation. He used ellipses that would go on for 3 lines, as if a person had just sort of frozen mid-conversation, like they'd run out of oil.
Well, the formatting was madness. It was
Just
all
spaces.
over the place.
Yeah, there would be it looked like he'd aligned each different bit as a scatter diagram of when he thought
It looked
of
like a fucking Gerard Manley Hopkins poem, how they're all sort of leaning slightly across the
It was
page.
filth. It took me such a long time to get into any workable order. And then I had to set him up. He's using some very weird free Microsoft Word equivalent,
Good.
which I strongly recommended against.
But all the best authors started there.
I think-
Dickens.
Yeah, loved it. He was all over this piece. And it has this fun feature of when you open anything in it, it opens that, but then deletes what it opened from. So every time you open it, it's right, this is the only one we've got. So I had to kind of...
Such a poor... Why does it do
It
that?
must be a bug. I don't know why. It's just bullshit.
That's so funny because that's so unfathomably unhelpful.
Yeah.
There's no upside to that feature.
None. So what it's meant is that I have to now... I've sort of socially engineered this man, which wasn't a challenge because he's about 1,000.
Yeah.
And quite receptive anyway. I basically, every few days that I remember, I just remote into his computer, which I set up that I can just do at any point now, and just copy the most recent version and put it in a file while he's asleep. Like some sort of Elf and the Shoemaker situation. Elf's and the backup man. But yeah, he's working on a version to be published, but I must have told this before, where he was telling me about I was showing him how to use spell check, which he'd literally never come across before. And he's like, yes, well, that's terribly useful.
He seems like the sort of person he wouldn't really need spell check all that much, though, doesn't he?
Yeah,
He's sort of
in a
old,
way.
he's white, he's been around, he
and
knows
also
how to
because
spell.
he's using a lot of... It's a book about the English Revolution, Cromwell times and stuff. So there's a lot of names that, aren't in the dictionary. So
Yeah, exactly.
The spell check, it's a lot of false positives. But of course... with those false positives, there are some, genuine positives, such as in his last book, he was telling me after I'd fixed an error in sentence 1 with the word "the." He's, oh God, it's just so easy not to catch them, isn't it? I mean, on my last book, it's terribly embarrassing. There's an error on the front cover.
Got the title to his own book
Such
wrong.
a shame. I mean, I'm trying my best to help him, but I'm not being paid nearly enough for the amount of effort that it took. And I've just sort of like, I was fobbing him off with, I've done my bit, I'll find someone else.
Yeah.
But then, as I told you, I don't know if I told listeners, he fell out of contact for a while. And I thought, oh, this has worked. And then I got a message that was like, I'm back. God tried to pull me into the next life. But yeah, and he had like really bad pneumonia and nearly died over Christmas.
Oh, no.
And he was telling me about how this is his like magnum opus. This is a collection of all of his ideas and his style and his interests.
And how are his ideas? Yeah.
Oh.
Do they amount to a lifetime's worth of thought?
I mean, in a way, but in another way. I guess, it's who am I to criticise his passion project other than the person that he's tasked with wading through the quagmire.
Oh, dear.
But yeah, we'll see. I'll probably, when it's out, I'll see if I can get like a promotional copy to give away on the show. That'd be fucking great. I'm getting to sign it.
I bet
as
he
well.
charges you for it.
I bet he would, actually, yeah.
I'm being taken the piss out of by freelance working. At the
Why?
moment. Well, because
You haven't really told everyone about your work situation crumbling under.
yeah.
underfoot.
Well, basically, as a private tutor,
Yeah.
now that the exams are over, everyone suddenly doesn't need a tutor anymore.
And you thought they were just paying you to hang out.
Yeah, that's
it's
what I was
very,
hoping.
Very painful.
Thankfully, I this week have managed to wrangle in loads more,
that's
so
good.
I've got loads more back. But I was sort of setting up the traditional safeguards against absolute destitution, including some Upwork.
Oh, God.
But I decided, because I left my last one something
Disgrace.
Yeah, well,
You left
not
a
so much
paper trail of
disgrace.
failed projects and broken
I
promises.
just left it. And to be fair, actually, I had a look the other day, and it doesn't seem to have been hindered by it at all.
good.
But I just thought maybe a fresh start would be good.
Why not?
So I set it up and sent it in for review, and they went, no.
Oh.
They went, we don't need you.
What?
They went, we got too many people with your skills.
Wow.
So we don't. So then I deleted some and added in some more. One or two of which I don't have. and
Software.
they went again. They were like, no, like we've got too many people with your skills. They were all to do with writing,
How is it in
Right.
their interest to turn down?
right? But then get this. I go onto YouTube on my phone. Oh, there's an ad for this video. Okay, what's that? Oh, Upwork. I know Upwork. Hi, we're a burgeoning workplace for
gagging.
people, for people
Like you.
such as front end, technicians, people who in web design, and of course writers. And I was like, what? No, you're not allowed to have that in your advert.
That's not fair, is it?
No.
So
it's not.
no Upwork for you.
No, well, I've just gone back to the other one and sent off a few things.
Oh, yeah.
I applied for a job at a comedy club.
That's good.
Which would
Doing
be
what?
fun. Just like show running, really.
Do you think you'd ever have to laugh? Like, is it implied in your contract that if the comedian's bad, you still have to laugh?
No,
I feel
I
like...
made sure of it.
Oh, right, okay. You're not a part of the, like, ambience of the place.
Absolutely not. No,
Fair
nor
enough.
would I ever be.
What else have you done?
Good question.
Almost too much.
No, I've applied for a few things, like some that are full time and some that are part time.
Ugh.
I know.
That would be horrid.
Well, it would, but they're like full time, but not at normal hours. So
Not like 9 a.m.
No.
That'd be sick.
I said, please,
Imagine that.
please.
Well, I mean, that's what you get, isn't it, for seasonal work? It's like we're the ice cream men, but in reverse, because they obviously, during the Christmas season, what do they even do?
Do you think maybe that's something we should look into? Like maybe we could have an ice cream van, but it's not an ice cream van. It's a van that changes seasonally.
A seasonal van.
Yeah.
Sounds like the front for a very, very obvious murder.
So, well, yeah. Obviously, that's something that the advertising has to
We have to put
handle
with
front on.
definitely, and then we'll underline definitely.
Yeah, definitely not.
Yeah. and we'll put not in like in bold. So then,
And scare quotes
yeah, well, so,
so
they
that
know
it
it's
draws
serious.
attention.
Yeah,
But I'm thinking, so summer,
Yeah.
ice cream. Winter, maybe like mulled wine
Mince
or something.
pies.
Mince pies. Mulled wine
how
and
about
mince
just
pies, that'd be good.
gifts? Oh, how about this? It's a portable grotto. That's a fucking great idea.
Don't ever say the phrase portable grotto
Why?
again. We've just said that the number one aim of our advertising is to make it not sound like somewhere where you're going to be killed.
Trafficking
Yeah.
operation. Come
But
on, no, but think about it.
what do you
pull
do-
up, You're playing like. They're always slightly distorted. Down, so it's like, Happy New Year, and then all the kids are like, yeah, and you pull up at the end
Great.
of a road. You do like a
And you're
cool
happy.
handbrake.
You're happy being an elf.
Oh no, I won't be involved.
You
I'll
are.
have written
This
the
is
music
it.
for it, and then the
You
back
just
of
said
the van,
that it was already a
I
song.
know, I'm making it haunting. The back of the van like opens out like that, dust, and then Santa like strides with arms open to welcome in all the children of the town or adults to come and sit on his lap and get one of Father's big gifts.
I think not.
What possible objection do you
How
have?
could anyone possibly misconstrue two men in a van going around collecting kids?
Not collecting, they're not taken anywhere.
Look,
How about if
you didn't specify
okay,
that?
well look, just to
It's a
allay that
portable
fear.
grotto.
Look, I understand that's a real problem now. You've opened my eyes to it. What I'm saying, solution, because I see this as a opportunity, is whenever we stop, the first job of the elves, because we'll probably have a couple of those guys,
Mm-hmm.
is you come out and you clamp your own tyres to show like we're here, we mean business, we're not driving off with your kids.
Right?
So
okay.
that's a kind of security.
They could come out and do a song about how we're not here
We're
to.
definitely not gonna steal your
They do this. They do the scare
children.
quotes around not as a dance move as well.
That would be really good.
But what I want to know is what do you do in spring and what do you do in autumn?
Spring's Easter. That's easier. Just
Right,
an egg
so
van. A bunny
Real
egg
eggs or chocolate eggs?
van. Both. Yeah. One dipped in the other. Probably real eggs dipped in chocolate rather than chocolate dipped in
in
real egg. That would be
But are we,
horrid.
so presumably you're gonna like hard boil them or poach them before dipping them in
I
chocolate.
think those vans are usually equipped with some kind of rudimentary cooking equipment. I think we can take orders. That can be our USP. We're custom eggs.
Yeah, but I'm thinking that
Build
it's,
your own egg.
it's hard to
Build an egg workshop.
it's hard to cover in chocolate scrambled eggs. Let's
Hard,
say.
but
You think
will
doable?
prevail because the way I see it is, those deep fat frying things,
Yeah.
those cages that you dip chips from. Put the scrambled egg in that. Put the chocolate in the reservoir, and
Yeah.
then dip away. And then that's a summery
That's
treat,
done.
a spring treat.
Is that
for
done?
anyone.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. And
£5.
autumn.
Autumn, you just give out leaves.
I think that the flaw in the business model there is that there's no time in the year where leaves are more freely abundant and available for people to pick up without our van.
I guess, but when it's snowing is when people buy fake snow. So,
But it's not always snowing. In fact, it's very rarely snowing.
But in the season of snow, and in the season of, never is Christmas decor more abundant than in winter, but people still want to buy it for themselves.
So-
because they want a piece of the leaf action.
So where are you? But they can get it
but they're
from the
not going
floor.
to. We're selling convenience, and we're selling.
No, but we're not. Our van is almost certainly going to be parked on a road covered in leaves.
Well, then step one, obviously, is to get the same elf who's now, probably been in and out of court based on the whole child clamping operation. We get that elf to do a sweep.
Are
run.
they? And are they? They're surely not dressed as an elf in autumn.
Oh, of course, a leaf elf, yeah. A kind of sprite, I guess. more
Right.
than an elf.
Okay. Yeah. A nymph.
Yeah, a wood nymph, but without the overtly sexualized
Well,
aspect of the
obviously,
nymph.
yeah. No. Well, I mean, as the sign will attest, that's
Yeah,
not what we're.
this is definitely not,
not-
in scare quotes, a sex nymph.
It's a natural nymph.
Yeah, and what's more...
What's more natural than
Godly than
fucking
that.
kids?
Oh! Said
No, it said.
the nymph. Just putting a little reminder there to listen back to how that reads. It might not be edited out because
No.
clearly that was in the joke.
Yeah.
But I'm going to check if clearly
I think
really
it's probably
applies.
best to just make sure.
Yeah. And if worse comes to the worst, I'll just Mr. Pete out the whole first 15 minutes.
Yeah. Did you see there was an article someone shared, some guy I follow on Twitter,
Okay, this is vague.
and he shared it saying, "This is without doubt the most abhorrent thing I've ever read."
Uh-huh.
And the headline was like, "Open paedophile running for office in Virginia's
Oh, yeah.
2nd congressional district," or something. And I was like, well, I mean, that's horrid. Like,
That's mad.
that's already like very horrible, but I can think of worse. And then I opened it, and somehow an article where the headline was about an open paedophile and rapist running for office, it managed to get even worse.
Yeah, he was pretty into it, wasn't he?
He was like unfathomably into it.
But
he was
the kind of like upbeat, carelessness of someone who is just describing like their hobby of collecting Warhammer.
yeah. It really reminded me of the book of American Psycho.
Uh-huh.
Because the first kind of 5 chapters are just lists of all of the beauty
favourite
products he
brands.
uses. Yeah, and like, oh, and then I took the cab to work and whatnot. And it's, it's a bit dull, but it's like pretty normal. And then it's just I think it's like the last line of chapter 5 or something. He says, and I wanted to go by the video store because I had to return some tapes, but I wanted to renew the one where the hooker was murdered by the drill because that was my favourite. And then it's like, it's like chapter 6. It's like, oh, I was making eggs, and you're just like, well, no, hang on a minute, hang on a minute, we can't just slip that in there. And yeah, it was just like he'd written articles, which already to me is a juxtaposition that I can't quite
Well, just the idea
reconcile.
of like sitting down to plan an article
to
about...
intellectualize the idea that the headline was like, a man should be able to strangle his wife to death for getting her hair cut too short without permission. And then in brackets, like it was some sort of joking
Or how I learned to
1930s.
stop
Yeah, exactly.
worrying.
It was
Love the
it
bomb.
was and other such minor indiscretions.
Oh!
It's like,
What
do you mean?
I didn't get about the whole story was why it was like up to that point that this article was written, why everyone would just be like, oh, that's just his way.
yeah,
That's what he's like.
each to their own.
Yeah, you don't want to step on another man's
No.
wife strangling.
No.
Seemed to be the vibe.
Like, I mean, the guy, and he had like a 6-year-old daughter, and he'd written on his own forums about how he was attracted to her. And you're like,
Dreadful. Why is
this-
no one intervening?
why is this like just gone on?
Yeah, does seem to be a lot of that, doesn't there? Whenever you pull back the layers of reality as they're presented to us by all the kind of traditional outlets, there's just all sorts going on that people turn a blind eye to. It's
just-
like what we've observed about how everyone, given the slightest piece of power,
Wants
just
to fuck
becomes a
kids.
paedophile.
Why?
It's so weird.
Why do they want to do that?
There must be like research being done into it. It must be like a power thing, surely, where it's like
Well, it has to be.
it's very
Because there was a thread the other day on Reddit about like, oh, who are some celebrities with skeletons in their closet that we've
right.
forgotten
Oh.
about, and it was a list of pretty much everyone,
Yeah.
and at least 2/3 of them were like touching underage girls,
Yeah.
getting underage girls drunk, taking underage girls across state lines. You're like, why? Why are you
weird,
doing
isn't it?
all
It's
of
like
this?
there must be someone who drives around, maybe in an ice cream van, with a
Just
manual
whispering
that's
to
like,
them.
you know what you can do now that you're powerful, and then just hands them like a pamphlet for their organisation of horrible criminals.
It's just absolutely mental.
Bad, isn't it? We're going to take a firm stance against that.
Yeah,
that's
that's
a shame, aren't we?
100%.
That's our big stance of the
Yeah.
day.
I suppose it's just the normalization of pretty much everything, isn't it? We would,
go on.
just what most people painfully refer to as fake news.
Yeah.
Like it's a sort of new idea.
Uh-huh.
But just this idea that you have to turn a blind eye to most things going on in the world, or you just never ever stop crying.
Yeah, that's definitely true. Isn't it?
There was, and they come in all sorts of forms. Like there was a story this week that Donald Trump said that he was considering pardoning Muhammad Ali, who doesn't need to be pardoned for anything.
I love the idea of pardoning someone just you know,
just because
it's just an
to like
extra stamp.
to retroactively tarnish their reputation.
Yeah.
But you know, that's such a minor example, but feels like at any other time you'd be going, well, he's a lunatic.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely is.
He's
as we've observed.
unhinged.
Yeah, it's not original to notice that he, you know, can't string even the smallest ideas into a sentence.
No. Well, did you see? I think it was last week with the letter from Kim Jong Un.
Oh, the one that it was a really good letter that he hadn't read.
Yeah,
It
where
was so weird.
literally 6 minutes after saying it was a really great letter, really lovely, a journalist asked, "Could you share some of it with us?" And he's like, "I haven't opened it yet, haven't looked at it, haven't read it." What?
He's just definitely ill.
Yeah,
Like, my least favourite type of person is the person on the internet who, or in fact on TV, or in print, or in quite serious academic positions,
Yeah.
who's like, oh my god, he's such a strategist. The sheer genius of, it's just liberal bait, isn't it? Like, he's telling them what he knows is going to upset them and it's going to, like, define the news cycle. Like when Trump said, I can pardon myself, lol. And all of the the Donald people were like, wow, he's done them there. I mean, obviously he doesn't mean it because that would be mental, but let's just carry on.
Yeah.
Liberal tears, though.
what
Good
a
one,
bunch of
Donny.
media cucks.
Yeah. Just the idea that he has any sense of what he's doing at any point is just so wildly and roundly refuted by anyone who's ever met him.
Yeah.
Like, he just is stupid. There's no two ways about it.
Preposterously stupid.
He's one of those people that if you met, you would feel like you were bullying him just by having a normal conversation, because he
Just
can't
by
keep up
having
with anything.
thought.
Yeah, it's very, very strange. What about that amazing amount of blood lost in his hand after shaking Macron's hand? Did you see?
Oh yeah.
His hand's like a withered, like Voldemort-looking stub. Dreadful.
What about how he's just decided to go after Justin Trudeau? I mean, a man whom I despise, but
Great eyebrows, though.
and what about those socks he wears, eh? But just like out of nowhere, just decides to do
It's
this.
not even that.
Anyone
It's
the
when he
slightest.
said, I'm going to punish the Canadian people. It's like, why? What do you mean?
What have they done?
Oh, dear. What a world, hey? I say that's a shame, and I'm gesturing to all of it.
Oh, you see, that's relevant.
That was nice, wasn't
That
it?
is relevant.
Now, what's not a shame is, well, no, what is a shame is that the website's about to crash or something. Let's just put cancel leaving there. Thanks, guys. Shame.city, by the way, if you want to be kicked out of your own website. I'm going this evening, in fact, in just a matter of hours. Probably I'll take some time to edit this episode, really rethink some of that early content about the van, post it, and then, I'll probably get changed into some evening wear. Probably black tie. It's going to be that kind of...
No,
it's
it's not.
I was a little joke.
I'm trying to think of an event prestigious enough that you would wear black tie. You would just choose to wear black tie.
I have
But
worn
that
it
you'd
a
wear
few
black
times.
tie if they asked you to.
The first thing that ever happened when I made that transition that I've talked about before from a school that was like very, troubled and in a very deprived area and like normal comprehensive school up to the poshest school you can imagine for sixth form. The first way that hit home and I felt very out of place was when they sent out an invitation months before I'd gone there to the like lower sixth welcome ball, and it was a black tie event. I was like, I don't even know what that constitutes. I had to go and like rent black tie attire. I've never felt so like out of my own skin. But by the end of it, I mean, I'd done that. You know the wanky thing you have to do if you're wearing a bow tie, where
You've
just
undone it. The
And
top
you are-
button's
'cause you're
undone
James Bond
and it's
at that
hanging
point,
down.
aren't you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it.
And you start, just swigging from, probably weren't allowed alcohol then, so, your cherry aid or whatever it is.
Maybe
talking
you,
about the
you get
economy.
like one complimentary glass of Bucks Fizz maybe or something.
Oh no, nothing of the sort. I think there were some people doing cocaine actually out the back of
yeah.
that event, so it was alright. But yeah, black tie I think is
Would you
almost
wear-
always unnecessary.
Would you wear black tie if you were nominated for an Oscar?
I'd go white tie.
Oh, you cunt.
I'd invent my own type, which is going to be called just Bernier Doyle tie. And what you do is it's
Well, I'm sure that will catch on.
the whole outfit. Well, you can call it BD tie if you want.
Right.
It sounds like hentai.
BD
though.
tie. sounds like a slur. you beady tie. You've invented an absolute hate
Put another little
crime.
note there to re-listen. Dear me. No, but anyway, let's skip over all of that stuff where Declan accidentally slurred Thailand. And
You created
history
it.
will
Your
remember it
invention.
when I've edited this
Well, yeah, I
episode
know when
enough.
you've edited it.
It will just be me talking and then you shouting.
Beady tie.
I'll be like, and then I'll just edit in like 20 seconds of silence and like me shuffling some papers around awkwardly. I'm going to the Thames, well, adjacent to the Thames at least, to a pier, and then I'll be getting on a boat where Reddit, the company, have flown themselves over from San Francisco all the way to London, where, you know, that's where we live, isn't it?
That is where we live.
Indisputably. I mean, I know we're on the outskirts, but even so, no one can stop us from having a postcode that is definitively inside the M25. They've flown themselves over all the way, on a big plane, and they're hosting a dinner on a boat with free alcohol and food
That is good.
and like swag. I expect some kind of merch. If I don't get a bit of merch, I'm
That is
gonna
it.
kick off. I'm gonna, you know, the big plug at the bottom of the boat that pulls it into the ocean.
Oh, yeah.
Into Davy Jones. Like
Yeah.
that. I'll be doing that straight away. They're hosting a dinner that's like get to know / thanks to some people who've been involved in like moderating things. And I'm quite excited about it because it seems like one of those events, and this is a genre that I love a great deal, that can either go one of two very diametrically opposed ways. Either it will be, you know, really cool. It'll be nice to like talk to some people who run one of the biggest websites on the whole internet.
On the whole web.
I've looked
And the
around
Wi-Fi,
it.
that's massive.
Yeah, well, and what's even bigger, it turns out, is the Reddit. It's getting bigger by the day as well.
Wow.
So it'd be interesting to talk to them and get some free alcohol and stuff.
Yeah.
And meet some other people who are like interested in that sphere. Or it's going to be a great big boat of fedora wearing, neck bearded, Donald Trump supporting alt-right cucks. Which is your bet?
I don't think it will be either.
Oh, really?
I think that everyone on there, bar obviously a few mentors, it's a Reddit meetup for fuck's sake. But I think bar a few mentors, everyone will be absolutely fine, like relatively
Do you
normal.
think normal?
But I just think that I think it'd be a really cool setup. I reckon that you'll have a good time. But I think that
I'm going to get so drunk.
unless someone does something spectacular, either in the positive or the negative. No, not
putting
you.
this on
Please
me.
don't let it be you.
Okay.
I think it will be a somewhat normal corporate event.
I just don't feel like, I don't know, they'd have had to vet people quite a lot. I assume they have, because you had to like say you were interested, and then they sent out invitations to like 2 people. I don't know how many people are going. It might just be
It's
me
you and Spez.
and Serena Williams
Yeah.
with that new baby.
Yeah.
That'd be great fun. We could talk about all the tennis that I know. Here's what
Yeah.
I'd say. Oh, Wimbledon. Yeah? Am I right?
Good
And then we'd
one.
high five, and then I'd leave the boat.
Yeah.
Because that'd be it.
No,
I'm drained.
it's
already in motion.
it's already pulled out of the
I
dock.
can't pull out Wimbledon straight away then.
no. You've
That's
got
going to be halfway
got to
in.
save that.
Yeah, I just feel like, you know what the average person's like on the internet. Dreadful.
So you just reminded me of I spent all of yesterday evening watching the latest series of Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Oh, yeah.
And there was an episode where 2 characters' parents were meeting. So they've made a list of all the things they had in common. There wasn't much. So the last item on the list was have hair. That's way down the list. We're not going to have to use that one.
Imagine having to resort to talking about. Yeah, well, I mean,
guys,
we both have hair.
we've all got hair.
It would be great if you did that with a bald person. You just panicked,
Yeah.
and that was all that was left.
Somewhere you must somewhere have.
Eyebrow. Oh god.
You know,
no,
I'm
it's
not.
full body
I'm not
alopecia.
discriminatory.
Sorry about that.
What about? Have you ever described something as you know? Oh, it was a hairy moment.
No,
Like,
I've never heard
You've
that.
never. What about? Have you ever said over here? But it sounded like over
So I have a
hair.
speech impediment now.
No, I was just asking because
You're
we
here
all do
trying
that.
to ask for my daughter's hand in marriage, and you're calling me a hairless speech impediment.
Get
out!
What about the Hair Bear bunch.
That's the Care Bears, you fucking freak.
No. It's a different thing.
I don't want to hear about
No,
them.
they're no. Well,
They're a rip-off, is what they are, of the Care Bear and the hooky-nosed fellow.
Yep. No, you're right.
I know I'm right.
Yep.
And you
I'm
can't marry
sorry.
Sandra.
What?
And I've called the police.
Oh, go on.
So yeah, that's what I'm doing this evening. I'll report back anything I should do while I'm there. Should I say something odd? I do. This is a bit weird. When I was in the shower, you know how sometimes you like to play that fun game where you're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, Isaac, you're a bit odd. Like you've got some mental problems." That fun game that everyone likes.
That
to
fun game that everyone plays about
play.
you.
That you all got together. And
We just sat you in
decided-
that circle. And,
No, but I think you all got together and decided you were going to start playing this game to kind of gaslight me. Yeah, so... Okay, no, but obviously you wouldn't tell me, would you? So I'm not...
No, of course we wouldn't. But, it
I
does
did
feel
have a
like you've
brief moment
constructed
when I was in the
that
shower just now,
in order to
and I was, I was just doing what you do in the
Excuse
shower, just standing there, gazing off into
your
the
own
future.
behaviours.
And a thought flashed across my mind where I thought, oh yeah, I've got that Reddit thing today. And then I thought, I wonder what personality I'll have there. Is that normal?
No! Wonder which of my masks I'll be putting on
but
before
that
going.
is normal because every social
Yes,
interaction
but
is a
most
bit of
people
acting.
don't rationalise it in that way.
So I've superseded the norm then. It's beyond. It's
no.
what I say super same because I've acknowledged that we all just
do
perform these parts.
do you not recognise that using words like super sane to describe yourself is something that if it were another person
Yeah.
doing that, you would probably ascribe that to mental.
Yeah, but that's because other people
illness.
are,
Oh, I see.
are greatly
You're the
problem
exception that
barrel.
proves the rule.
I'd say so, and it's nice of you to offer that particular description.
Here's something you could do,
Okay.
and I'd like you to give this a go.
Okay.
It was something I was going to bring up when we were having our earlier conversation about things that have been madly normalised.
Uh-huh.
It's this fun story that people probably will have seen about US kindergartens now teaching nursery rhymes to prep kids for school shooters.
Cool.
Now, you're not going to a kindergarten.
But I am going to.
But you're going to
site
an
of
event.
A school shooting. Is that what
No,
you're saying?
no. But you're going to a meetup.
Yeah.
There's going to be lots of important people in one location.
Yeah.
You're on a boat that's isolated.
Oh my god.
If
saying
anything
I
were
should-
to happen,
I should blow it up. It sounds like.
no.
Oh.
That's the personality you're taking.
Right,
Your
okay,
your
no, I'll put that one
Unabomber
away.
face. No, I'm just thinking it's the sort of party, it's the sort of location or event
Yeah.
where someone could bring a weapon,
Wow.
and then you'd be in
I
danger.
don't think I'm going anymore.
But no,
But there's
don't
gonna
have
be-
that.
Okay.
This is about having a can-do attitude.
Okay. No, I can do that.
So I'm thinking, what you could do, you could just like tap the mic
Uh-huh.
at like the front of the stage. I'm assuming
boat
they'll
stage,
be, yeah. Or just the captain's little tannoy system.
Captain's
and then
mark.
just like ask for just a couple of seconds of everyone's time, public safety announcement.
Yeah.
And then, you don't want it to seem too grim or too bleak.
No, because the thing about safety is like we don't want it to be a downer. We
No,
want it to be like
exactly.
safety.
And
not safe.
some people, they get unnecessarily morose at the mere mention of mass shooting they may or may not be involved in.
Yeah.
So what you can do is you could use this nursery rhyme form to just, give it a bit of punch.
Okay.
Okay, so
What meter is this nursery rhyme going to be in, and would it be improved by an improvised piano accompaniment?
you are quite lucky because it's to the tune of Twinkle Twinkle Little Star.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm not going to give it then. I don't play pre-existing tunes.
No, but I mean, I was thinking that you could like jazz it up like you sometimes do.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll try that on the boat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you don't, if you're going to be using your hands, you're not going to want to have notes, so you're going to have to remember it.
Okay.
Okay,
Right.
so
Give it to me.
I'll read it to
Let
you
me go
here.
into my, that state where you can absorb information.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Lock down, lock the door. Shut the lights off, say no more. Go behind the desk and hide. Wait until it's safe inside. Lock down, it's all done. Now it's time to have some fun.
All around the corpses of your loved ones. Wow.
So what do we? No, because like at the end there, it's got that because people might think, oh, it's a bit bleak, but then you do the now it's time to have some fun,
his brain's been blown
and then
out.
you give the thumbs up to the DJ. He puts the music back on.
Yeah.
The lights start going again. People go back, but they know.
You think it's going to win me a lot of respect and acclaim?
I think that it shows you're a leader of men.
It's a power play.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. I agree.
And you get the added dual bonus, something I know you like, of people suspecting that you might also be the one planning to do it.
I don't like that.
No, but obviously you're not, and no one's really going to think
I
that.
have an edge.
Yeah, exactly. People, you go down, you start shaking hands and like smiling and just general small talk party stuff, schmoozing.
Should I be too schmoozy?
Just a tiny bit, like you don't want to overplay.
Just that thing where someone holds eye contact slightly too long.
Yeah, or you're just smiling even when there's
the mouth's
nothing
smiling,
really
but
too
the
happy.
eyes are not.
No, not that, because that is just horrid. then you're guilty whatever you do.
Oh, right.
No, I'm thinking, those people who smile throughout the whole conversation, even if it's not all that interesting
And
or
then
indeed happy.
Maybe whenever I'm like moving on to the next person, where you do that thing of, as you're talking, you start looking over their shoulders to the next person, do a little wait, hi, yeah, no, just, and be like, I've got to go, lovely to meet you. The storm is coming.
Yeah.
And then I just leave. That'd be cool. That's what that whole QAnon thing is based on. Do you know about all this? You've been following the QAnon debacle?
No.
Oh, mate, this is a whole, 10 episodes worth. But it's basically, you remember Pizzagate?
Oh, yeah.
It's like that on steroids. And it all stems from Donald Trump once, in a meeting with all his generals and the press, just said, I think this might be the calm before the storm. And then all the media people were like, Mr. President, what do you mean by that? What do you mean it's the calm before the storm? Don't know, it's just, might be the calm before the storm, and then just left. And everyone's like, the fuck is he on about? So all this conspiracy has ended up spouting from that font.
Oh, no.
And it all, it's all on 4chan. Q is the name they've given to this guy who's like a prophet, who's apparently either a White House insider or Donald Trump himself.
Right.
Who writes all these rhetorical questions, and they predict things that are going to happen. And that's the tweet that got Roseanne her show cancelled.
Oh, of course.
Was part of the Q.
Yeah.
She was talking about one of their talking points and replying to an account that was, it's all, go and look into it, guys. It's a real rabbit hole. And
So
then
you're saying
I'll
that's
say
what-
that,
yeah.
and then I'll go.
Yeah, I like that. There's nowhere safer than the open sea, you should say.
And then I'll do one of those big noises that
Sort of
implies
slurping.
familiarity, but also authority.
And also
An insect.
some sort of alien life form inside you.
Yeah, shall I keep doing that thing where your neck twitches as
Well,
well?
like Vincent D'Onofrio in Men in Black.
Yes,
where he's just
exactly like that.
jerking.
Yeah.
Just
Oh,
ask
that would
everyone
be
for sugar
a real
water.
hit at this party. I do always.
No,
do you
I'm
not
just-
ever think this though?
Go on.
Do you have to calibrate what person you're going to be when you go into a situation?
Yeah, of
or-
course you do.
Yeah. So what are you having to go at me for?
Because most people think of it in terms of what's the etiquette of this?
Right.
Are there particular mannerisms? Are there particular euphemisms employed in this? Are you expected to speak in a certain way, or what's appropriate behaviour is normally. That already is far too formalised a notion of what people think when they go into something. People don't stand listless in the shower, mouth open, just filling with the hot water, eyes.
How else are you going to clean your lips?
Eyes completely open,
Zoned out. Like a
you've
turned
got-
off robot.
You've got fully formed droplets from the shower
that's
on the
horrible.
eyeball, but you don't even blink, like those lions in the desert.
Do they
with
do
the-
that?
Well, first of all, lions aren't in the desert. I don't know why I said that. Lions on the plains where they've got
Serengeti.
flies walking across the eyeball and
Yeah,
they don't
and
even
donkeys
blink.
love that.
Yeah, they love that as
Or
well.
they hate it, I can't remember.
In the desert, wherever they are. And think, which personality will I have
Which
today?
personality shall I
Which
adopt?
personality shall I have today?
Well, I think it's good to think like that because it means that you experience more different interactions. Because if you choose to be I'm just going to be, kind of retiring, maybe even standoffish, then that implies a certain dynamic. Whereas if you're like, okay, I'm going to channel the most confident person I can think of and go in a bit, ladies and gentlemen,
When you said channel,
the
I thought,
party's
thought the
arrived.
next one was going to say the ghost of.
Well, funny you should mention.
Oh, right.
The supreme confidence. Who would be yours that you'd channel if you were like
Ollie
going into an
Reed.
event, you're like, this is the thing, Ollie Reed. Just walk in and own the room.
Yeah.
I think of that all the time. That Susan Sarandon episode of Friends where she's teaching Joey how to own every room he walks into.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm all about that.
You think you could do it?
I
So
do it regularly.
which personalities are on the table for this evening?
I think it might be a kind of Steve Coogan at a party in The Trip sort of thing, where it's like a
So
confidence masking
standoffish
a lot of...
retiree.
No, I think he's confident, but it's also like you have to approach his confidence. He's not going to go out and seek.
No.
Because alternatively, like the extreme would be just the, like, I don't know, who even exists in this sphere. Maybe a kind of Steve Martin in the Pink Panther, just single-minded dedication to the party where you're just out there.
Right.
You're just experiencing.
Yeah, you don't want
everything.
to be doing that. It sounds like a lot of effort.
It is a lot of effort. It's very draining. Yeah, I'd have
Yeah.
to spend the next day alone at least to recharge.
Yeah. And then you've got Danger's birthday on the Saturday, so like you'd have to
I
do it all
don't know.
again.
God, no, but I'm not going to bring that sort of personality
No.
to that. That's going to be just my default, whatever that is. I've kind of lost track of it over the years.
No, really. And you don't find that troubling.
Oh well, it's there somewhere.
Right.
Save it for a rainy day.
Right. Yeah.
But I'll report back on how it goes, and
Yeah,
I'll
no,
tell you
please
because
do.
I'll probably decide moments before I go, or sometimes it depends on. I have to start getting into the vibe by playing certain music,
Just
looking at myself in the mirror and just staring into my own mind for a bit.
just before you step on the boat,
Yeah,
send me a GIF
of the mood.
of the mood.
Okay.
Send 2 GIFs. One of your personality, who you're taking in
Yeah.
on your face.
Okay.
And then when you get on the boat, one of what's the mood.
Okay, well, I hope they just clash. They'd be like, I'm taking all of Russell Brand's charisma and energy.
And I'm
And
taking
it's
it
like
into
the
the red
song.
room.
Wow, it's going to be a hell of a night. Dear me. So yeah, I'll report back on how that goes, everyone. I'm sure there'll be something interesting that happens, and if not, I'll resolve to make it myself, like a kind of Nightcrawler-esque journalist who's providing their own news stories.
My phone has turned itself off.
Oh, maybe you've got that cool bug I've got called the Drain the Bat,
It was on 32%.
and now it's dead.
And now it's back on.
Oh, okay.
It will die in a second, I'm sure. 27% now. That's good.
Why did it turn off then? Because they know we're onto
know.
something.
Yeah, exactly.
Onto the truth.
I was going to bring up
Uh-huh.
something sent to us by the wonderful Professor Matt.
Long may he reign.
Of course.
Yeah.
He sent us something that we know, and our listeners know we're very interested in.
Yes.
It's bots writing things.
Yeah.
Now, this one feels like it's probably a bit of a piss take.
Yeah, there are elements of it that are definitely human.
Yes. But the script and the premise is perfect nonetheless.
Yeah.
I forced a bot, says @Keaton Patty, to watch over 1,000 hours of Olive Garden commercials and then asked it to write an Olive Garden commercial.
Already I'm in love with the word forced.
Yeah.
Like this
You
bot
sit
wanted
there.
to be a calculator.
It's like a clockwork orange, just like turning its head back. Here is the first page.
Okay.
Are we ready?
I'm always ready for robot writing. Should this be a regular feature, robot writing?
I don't know if there are enough robots writing fun
I'll commission
stuff.
one.
Okay. Force it.
Yeah.
Right. Olive Garden commercial. Int. Olive Garden restaurant. A group of friends laughs at a dinner table. A waitress comes to deliver what could be considered food. Waitress. Pasta nachos for you. We see the pasta nachos. They're warm and defeated. What does a defeated meal mean to
A
you?
defeated nacho is just flaccid. It's lost all of the
it's a
all of the
soggy
structure it
nacho.
had. So it's been like over layered. There's too much stuff on top and it's just buckled.
Too much pasta
Yeah, I guess so, yeah.
on top.
Too
The
much
oil from the
in.
pasta.
It's just sodden.
Oh no. Friend 1. The menu is here. Waitress. lasagna wings with extra Italy. We see the lasagna wings. There's more Italy than necessary. Friend 2. I shall eat Italian citizens. Waitress.
Wow.
Unlimited stick.
That's the unlimited breadsticks, isn't
Yeah.
it? I like the way the robots come across that.
We need an Olive Garden in Colindale. I'll go
Unlimited
anywhere
stick.
there's unlimited bread.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, but breadstick, it's not really a bread.
That's absolutely
it's
fine.
more of a biscuit.
That's absolutely
a cracker.
fine. I could eat
I like
breadsticks all day.
breadsticks, but I don't put them in the bread category. I think it's a misnomer. They're not bread.
Well, they could be.
They could be if they tried, but they haven't, so they're not.
They're just really dry bread.
Yeah, I guess. What about those biscuits they serve with coffee sometimes? Those like biscotti. Who likes them?
No one.
Truly foul.
No one.
Crumbly, brittle, hard to bite. Taste of like the memory of nuts. Horrid. Get rid
It
of them.
once saw a nut and went, not for me. We see the unlimited stick. It is infinite.
Wow.
It is all.
That sounds cool.
Friend 3. Leave without me. I'm home. I love the idea of a restaurant commercial where one person doesn't order anything.
He doesn't even go to the
Yeah.
restaurant. It just cuts to him in his bed.
It just the advert starts again and he's not there. It's like a sort of horror. Waitress, Gluten Classico from the kitchen.
That's a horrible name.
We the Gluten Classico. We believe the waitress that it is from the kitchen. We have no reason not to believe.
Fair.
Friend 4 says nothing.
Which in a way says more than, that silence speaks volumes.
Friend 1. What is wrong, friend 4? Friend 4 says nothing. Friend 2. Friend 4. What is wrong, friend 4?
Oh, fuck.
Friend 4 smiles wide. Her mouth is full of secret soup.
Just dribbles out.
And then the final line. Announcer, brackets, wet voice.
Oh.
Olive Garden. When you're here, you're here.
It's really the least you can say. Could you give me that one more time in a wetter voice, though? If possible. I don't know if that's in your range, your repertoire.
Olive Garden.
Oh.
When you're here, you're here.
You sound like the old man on the bus who goes to sit next to a year 11 girl and talk about the war that he wasn't in.
It's a voice I've curated called the Slug Man for a play in a day.
It's hard.
And I've kept it ever since just because it
Just in case.
terrified my girlfriend.
Nice. That's
Keep
like
it-
me doing the backwards dwarf from Twin Peaks voice.
Oh, did you do that?
She hates it.
Perfect.
Can't get on board with
I
it.
love the idea of, like, the two of you are just, like, in bed. It's like 3 a.m.
Yeah.
You've been up, obviously, like, you're still on your phone or something.
Yeah, that sounds like me.
She just kind of wakes up and you feel her kind of roll over, she's in that half away.
Yeah.
And then you just, not even looking at her, you're pretending to still be asleep.
Uh-huh.
And you just go, point, mean, prices.
She'd scream and leave. And never come back. Dangerous.
What's the worst thing you could say in the backwards voice? What do you think is the most haunting thing you could hear in the middle of the night?
I think it would be really weird if you woke up to someone doing that voice and just reading like a recipe for, fairy cakes. Just something really banal. I think the contrast of how much thought has gone into adopting that voice versus how little thought seems to have gone into picking the reading material would really speak to a disturbed and broken psyche.
I've just realised that to say grams backwards, you have to say smarg.
Smorg. 10 smorg.
Tens net smarg. Smarg net.
That's horrible.
Oh, God.
The Smargnet. I can talk to Serena Williams about the Smargnet because they recently introduced that into the Wimbledon rule.
Oh, yeah, the Smargnet.
Yeah.
And what's that?
It's just a bigger net and it moves up and down like a sort of guillotine.
Do you still have to always get the ball over it?
No, just past it. It's really a challenge. Each time the umpire blinks, it speeds up as well.
Oh, right.
And then it can kind of segment.
And are the umpires trained to
Speak
withhold blinking?
Some of them
Or-
are. Some of them are trained to blink more than ever.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Do you not feel, was there no debate about how this could be used to easily game the system? Like the umpires place a big bet about how many times they'll blink.
No, well, what happens is their eyes are removed when you become an umpire. I'm surprised you didn't know that. So they don't know what's going on or who's playing.
That is a bonus for the only official.
Yeah, it's cool.
Wow. Oh, that's good.
Because robots now.
Robots.
Robots
Nice.
now. Yeah.
Robots now.
Robots tennis in charge.
Of
Yeah. They're
Yeah?
the watcher. They watch the tennis. Robots eyes.
in
Umpire no eyes.
in out
Uh-huh.
bot.
Yep.
The in out bot.
Goal line technology.
VAR.
Tennis. Exactly. I'm thinking of getting a VR headset. You into it?
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
Thanks.
What are we going to do with it?
Oh, what aren't we going to do with it? I'm going to live there.
You're going to try out all your different
Oh, I
personalities.
can tell you about this thing before we go. The
Okay.
Void, because we can't do it now. I was going to take you to it, but it's gone.
Oh, good.
It's this mad thing, and it's brought to you by Star Wars, and it's brought to you by Oculus Rift.
Right.
And it's a VR Star Wars experience, and it's mad. It's incredible. If it's anywhere near you, it's in a few locations around the world. So it's in Orlando. It was in London, but it's in a few other places.
Right.
If you get the chance, go and do it to get a little glimpse of what VR is going to be like. Here's what happens. You go into a room. Diego Luna's there playing his character from Rogue One. I mean, he's not there. He's on a screen. That's why they had to shut.
Yeah.
He was, just
He was exhausted being here and in Orlando.
of Diego. I can't remember his character. I just remember his normal name, because what a cool name Diego Luna is.
That is pretty cool.
He's there and he gives you a mission. It's vague, of course. We have to go and look at some box. You've got to go and look at some box, he says.
Oh,
And
there's
then
always
he's
a
like,
box
"There's
to be
some
looked at
shooting."
in that world.
You assign yourself a colour. I was purple. The first time I was purple by choice. The second time I was purple by happenstance. And that tells me that I'm in charge of my own destiny.
Okay.
And that the universe is in some kind of responsive relationship with me, which I appreciate. And what happens is you put on this rig. It's a big, harness-looking thing. Wires out the back that go up into a headset. You put this on. It's got headphones inbuilt.
Right.
And then you are taken to a room, and you're inside what looks like a sort of temporary office structure, but all like black. You put this thing on and you can still kind of see the walls, but then all of a sudden they just do this weird, like, in the Matrix when it dematerializes.
Yeah.
It does that, which
Cool.
was fucking cool. And the walls suddenly become this like spaceship that you're in. And that big robot from Rogue One is there telling you about your mission. Mm-hmm. So you have a little seat.
About
and
looking
you
at
can
this
look
box.
around, and everyone's a stormtrooper. You can put your hands out in front of you. You've got stormtroopers' hands. You can wave them about. Woo! Do like
wow.
stormtrooper. Really cool. Because there's nothing on your arms, so it must. I really don't know how that works.
Is that not AR then?
No, it's you're not seeing your own arm. You're seeing a stormtrooper's arm that is mapped more or less one-to-one to what your arm is doing. Normally you need a controller to do that, I thought.
Oh, that's why I thought it was AR, because isn't that augmented? So, like, it would just put stormtrooper arms over your arm.
I don't think it's that, but it could be. I don't know enough about how it works, because AR is normally like you can see elements of reality superimposed over which are fiction. But this was all entirely that. But you can like see the other stormtroopers. You can go like flick them, and it's like exactly where they are.
And the guy next to you is like, "Fuck off, dude."
Get off, Stormy! Purple Storm.
I love the idea that like he goes to complain later, and like, so what did he look like?
Well, he had this white hat. But yeah, you go through this. It's probably only about 10, 12 minutes.
Right.
In which you're on a spaceship. You're flying to a lava-y planet. Then the door opens and you have to go off this platform that's like above nothing, which is very disconcerting, even though you know it's just a room. And probably the second time we did it, we were trying to work out like how much distance you cover, because you're walking around what feels like a fair bit, but it must be like the size of a shoebox. You're just like being led in and out of the same room, but because the context has changed for you visually, it just feels like you're
it is
walking all over the
terrifying.
place.
Like,
Really
for anyone
cool.
who hasn't done anything like that, any sort of VR where it looks like there's a drop or there's something coming towards you is like frighteningly realistic. Like you you don't get a chance to rationalise it. You just have to react.
And there's a bit where you stand on a platform and the platform kind of floats. It's like a moving vehicle and the floor vibrates a bit. That feels very alarmingly real. And then we got some guns. And I had to, let me tell you, shoot Darth Vader.
Personally?
Yeah, I was in charge of the Darth shooting.
Well done. That's not what everyone's experience
doesn't
was.
work well for you to shoot Darth, and he breaks your gun with the Force at the very end.
Oh, fuck.
But before that, you're shooting stormtroopers, you're shooting a big lava bug, and it's amazingly, like, mapped. The first time my focus was a bit out because I didn't take the time to fix it. The second time, like, I got it all in place. And you can just aim exactly. It's like just perfect laser gun at where you're looking. And then I was like shooting the other stormtroopers that were my friends to see what happens. It does a weird like burn. It's really cool, and it's renewed my faith in VR, which after, us discussing Ready Player One for so long, it had really gone down the pan.
Yeah.
But it turns out it's pretty fucking cool, so I think we should get involved with it.
That and Galactica.
Oh, yeah.
Alton Towers.
Brought to you by two-dimensional shapes that don't map at all with what the roller coasters do.
Yeah, that's
cool stuff. So, yeah, if you have a chance to do any VR, specifically the Void, get amongst it.
Yeah, do that.
I think we should wrap it up there.
Feels like a good idea to
Why
me too.
not? We've got a quiz next week that's all about My Little Pony, so that'll be
fun. Perfect.
That'll be on Sunday's
episode.
Until then, we've got all kinds of ways for you to get in touch. Maybe you have done VR. Maybe you are a stormtrooper. Maybe you're sitting there now deciding which personality core to install today. All of these are problems, questions, elements of feedback with which we are happy, nay delighted to engage at tass@shame.city or on the contact form at shame.city. How else, Declan, can people get in touch?
Well, they can get in touch via Twitter.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Do you remember that?
The big blue bird.
That's him.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes he's blue, sometimes he's white when he's on a blue background.
Oh, I'm not involved with him.
Are you not?
Not that one. No, I'm all about the blue bird.
Oh,
blue bird
right.
or bust.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Racist, but whatever. So you can find the show at That's a Shame Cast.
Yeah.
Apologies are plenty.
How are the
over there.
tweets at the moment?
Yeah, they're all right.
Good tweets?
We're getting some good. We're getting some good interaction.
Oh yeah,
from the listeners.
that's good.
That wonderful Olive Garden commercial,
Of course.
brought to you by Robots and Professor Matt
Yep.
via the Twitter.
That is
Yeah,
good.
think about that. It was something someone did, and they tweeted,
Yeah,
and then
on Twitter.
on the Twitter,
Yeah.
the Twittosphere,
Yeah.
and then our Twitter was completely like we don't know this guy, nothing to do with him.
He'd never have come into our tweetosphere.
One person,
Mm-hmm.
the Honourable Professor Matt,
Long may he reign.
just linked, just like grabbed them with one arm and grabbed us with the other, and went,
Like that bit where he has to pull that train back together.
who?
Move on.
In what?
Don't dwell on
And
the
he just
train.
went bang and smashed his hands together and went, look at this. And then here it was. Now it's vocalised by
mad.
us on the show.
The internet is a craze.
It's amazing. You can find me.
Who, sorry? Why?
I went to say
my.
I went to say myself and then thought that's horrid.
Yeah.
And so but then went to say me, but I'd already gone mine.
Yeah, well, that's the problem. You've got to commit.
So
So just don't worry about finding Declan this week.
don't worry. I'm nowhere to be found.
He's in-
I'm
in
deleting
hiding.
all my media. You can find Isaac at IsaacBD, however.
Cool.
He'll
Cool
be doing
place.
all sorts of mood/personality gifs, I'm sure.
Oh, you better believe it.
Patreon.
Oh, yeah.
That's getting a fucking do-over.
Yeah,
that
it
is.
is. We're doing it right over. Any minute now.
So,
In a good way.
but if you are happy and able to give us anything, really,
Yep.
in the meantime,
Any
regardless of
support
what's
is
there,
appreciated in a big, fat way.
it's stacking up, isn't it?
Yeah.
Over there, patreon.com/shamecity. We'll be able to do something half decent with it.
Yeah, we'll do some more kinds of goals.
Yeah. I've been given the hurry up by our friend Mr. Pete
Oh, yeah.
to book tickets for Thought Park.
Oh, okay.
So we're
Yeah,
going
we
to get
need
that
to do
done. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And we've got to do that before the car finally
Gives
goes.
It's last hurrah.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah, we'll do that. And reviews.
Of course.
Shame.city/review or reviews, take your pick. If you're someone who listens to this show, and I know there are literally hundreds of you out there for whom this is the case, who has not left a review, I want you to just take stock, because you're part of the problem. And the only way to redeem yourself in the eyes of both us and Christ is to pop over to shame.city/review, click on the 5th star and type away praise, please. It does help the show, definitively. We don't know how, we don't know why, but
it's an objective measure of success.
Yeah, and it was,
seemingly.
It's been a while since we had a review as well, because like I said, I feel like everyone who was inclined to be on the first wave of reviewers did it a while ago.
Yeah.
So if you want to start the second wave and become a leader...
Isaac's going to bring the last review along to Sunday's episode and just read that again.
Yeah.
Just to give you some sort of inspiration.
Yeah, why not? And then it's up to you. We're passing that baton over to you guys. Run with it to the finish line of reviewership, and you'll feel all the better for it. A real weight off your shoulders and mine. And yours.
Especially mine.
Until episode 92, which I'm reliably informed is going to be one of the best ones yet.
Hell of a show.
Yeah. I've been Isaac. You've been...
I've been Declan.
And we'll see you all too soon.
Bye, guys.
Look for the bare necessities, the simple bare necessities. Forget about your worries and your strife. I mean the bare necessities, oh Mother Nature's recipes that bring the bare necessities of life. Wherever I wander, wherever I roam, I couldn't be fonder of my big home. The bees are buzzing in the tree to make some honey just for me. The bare necessities of life will come to you. For the bare necessities, the simple bare necessities. Forget about your worries and your strife. I mean the bare necessities, oh Mother Nature's recipes that bring the bare necessities of life. Wherever I wander, wherever I roam, I couldn't be fonder, my new home. The bees are buzzing in the tree to make some honey just for me. The bare necessities of life will come to you. Necessities, the bare necessities, the bare necessities of life will come to you.